Welcome to the Waldorf Gridiron Club Podcast, your home for all things football at Waldorf University, the best small college football experience in America. Hosted by Andy Buffington and me, Troy Thompson, from the secret bunker beneath Bullsdorf Field.
Welcome to this episode of the Waldorf Gridiron Club Podcast. Woo! Troy, it's been a spell since we've had a brand new season.
It's a brand new season. This is season 3.
Dun, 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 dun.
I can add that music.
Oh, you totally should. Actually, I think I nailed it.
You did nail
I
it.
feel like I nailed it.
No point in even going back.
Well, hey, welcome, kids. We're back, baby. And it's she's March. We last talked to you around Thanksgiving, so I hope you had a belly full of turkey and hope you had time with your family. Troy, how you been, buddy? Haven't seen you.
It's been a great break. Not that, I mean, I love this podcast of the one other that I produce and then the one that I do. I mean, and has been those are more like almost like a job. And this is fun.
Yeah.
Those are fun too. I wouldn't do it
absolutely.
if it wasn't fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is definitely a lot of fun. I've missed you. I've missed the conversations with the players and the coaches and we've got some changes to talk about. We were talking a little bit, and because I know we've got some listeners that have been dying to hear from us again, that's a good sign.
It's weird.
We were gonna just say, hey, this is the 88th episode this year. Been doing it every day.
Where have you been?
Like they've been on the wrong CB channel. Yeah.
Well, right, and it's we're on the podcast network now.
Yeah, there's a whole network for it. You got to switch your radio over.
Yeah, we got this website now.
We do have a website.
We do have a website.
It's been up and running since last fall.
Yes,
late last fall.
Right, and it hasn't changed. We got to make some changes to that.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. So, Troy, today, obviously, season 3, episode 1. Who do you bring in? The big dog, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you bring in the power. You bring in the guy that is leading the Warriors.
Yeah.
Second year as head coach.
Since Ani can't. Oh, you already blew it. I was going to say since Ani can't be here.
You guys are something else, man.
Yeah. So
Something else.
Oh man, we are. And 6th year at Waldorf. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, 6 years at Waldorf coach, head coach Tyler Chapa.
There it is.
That went by quickly, huh?
Whoa, dude! This is my 5th season with the team.
Look at that.
Fist bump.
Yeah. Ooh, wow.
That's good stuff. I started by making everybody coffee, getting all the stuff off the printer, and
Yeah,
getting yelled at for laundry.
I started by doing laundry and handing out equipment and fixing stuff.
I don't remember when I
so my
started.
trajectory has not had the same
That is
upward.
not true.
What?
We're doing a podcast now.
Well, yeah, but I'm talking about my role with your team.
No, that's also not true. Our guys know you.
That's
You
true.
can walk past them and be like, "Hey guys, what's going on?" They know you and they can talk to you.
Yeah, that's
good.
true. That is.
Promotion.
Yeah.
Yeah. They know
Yeah.
you're
Growth.
the guy.
That's what it's all about.
Growth.
That's what it's all about. Well, thanks.
You're the guy in Rudy. Like the
Rudy.
like the big black janitor guy.
Yeah.
That gives them advice. That's what they all look to you as. As
Yeah.
you walk by.
You're not Rudy,
You're like
but-
standing at the.
No, I
you're
can't
like
remember
standing-
that character's name, but we should look it up on our pocket computers because his clap at the end of that game.
Yeah. Yeah.
He had more power. Of course, he was a big dude.
He was a big
and he
dude.
probably still is.
Yeah. I
So,
hope he still is.
yeah.
Yeah, that's funny because I can just see you on. You're on the sideline. And you could maybe by yourself one time, and then that kid comes up and he's like, 3rd-year freshman, and you're like, listen, listen, kid.
Yeah. I got some advice.
You think this is easy?
Exactly. Nothing worth doing is easy.
Oh yeah, perfect. Then we could ramp up the music.
His real name
Oh,
is
boy.
Charles.
Oh,
Oh, yeah?
okay.
Sorry.
Okay. No, that's cool. What was his character?
I don't know. I couldn't find it.
So speaking
Don't
of
have enough
characters, went on vacation a few weeks ago down to the Hot Springs area, and we had lunch in Bentonville, Arkansas, and walked into this great restaurant. And I looked over, and so the bonus question tonight is, do you guys know who Michael Rotter is? I believe it's Rotter.
No.
So if you've ever seen Days of Thunder,
Okay.
Tom Cruise was the main character in that.
Mm-hmm.
His nemesis, the guy that he raced again, Rowdy something or other, the guy played him. And so I walked in and I saw this guy. I'm like, he looks really familiar. And of course, you're not going to go, I think I know you. So you don't talk to the dude. And then there was a bunch of people outside taking pictures with him. So, yeah, So
Wow.
brush with greatness right there. But
That's never happened to me.
It pales in comparison to sitting next to Tyler Chapa.
Well, there you go.
Pales.
I see what you did there. Really a good build-up.
I'm flattered. Thank you.
Well, don't let the listeners down for the first episode of season 3 now.
It'll be a good one.
Yeah.
So, Coach, man, some things, of course, we finished up last season. Didn't go exactly how we wanted it to, but, one of the things that was really, really real is that you had about 6 weeks to learn how to be a head coach. Yeah,
nailed it.
Yep. And not to say you did not do a bad job, but at the same time, you didn't have an opportunity to do some of those things that coaches, like the position you're in now, where you've had a lot of time and that's where you've been. And then even like, Coach Ani, our offensive coordinator and O-line coach, he had the same amount of time to figure out what it means to be an offensive coordinator and how to install stuff. And so, again, it wasn't the ideal season for us.
No, and I think a part of this too was like, as much as we don't want to admit it, we were just we could be perceived as a bunch of kids trying to figure out how to do the right thing. And I don't think kids because of our age, but because of our experience or lack thereof, how to manage certain situations, how to manage literally every player on the team and deal with all of the things on a day-to-day basis, whether it's class or grades or, this is going on at home or whatever the case is, or I have a meeting with this group of people and then I have a meeting with this group of people. When do we have time to watch film? It was the hardest season of football I've ever coached, but I finally feel confident. I finally feel good about what we're doing right now. And I think for the most part, every kid on our team is bought into what we're doing. We're doing a great job in recruiting right now. And so we're bringing in some really good, not just players, but their families. We've had people come on visits from Iowa, Minnesota, Illinois, Las Vegas. We got some Houston guys coming, and mom and dad and brothers and sisters are coming and seeing the place and making sure that Iowa's a real place and making sure that, we're not just car selling them. We're being honest with what we're doing. So it was definitely tough, and we lost some games we should have won, but you just learn from it. And
it's football.
Forward. Yeah.
It's football, man. Yeah, absolutely. A lot to be proud of. So in the last, let's say 5 months, and probably even less than that, we've had some changes in your staff. You want to go through some of those?
Yeah, let's go through this.
Yeah. So after the season, we all went on the road recruiting and, helped Coach Brown, our receivers coach. We helped him get a job kind of closer to home on the East Coast at a Division II school over there. And so what I did was I was able to split his salary a couple different ways and keep Jordan Cooper, our quarterback, who's been here for 3 years as a graduate assistant. He's been doing phenomenal. He loves the program. He loves the community, and he loves football. And then in July, we'll be able to get Cade Kloster-Hodak, who was a 5-year guy for us from Mason City, played center. He'll be joining the staff. He's doing all his student teaching stuff right now, but he'll be getting his master's and helping Ani with the O-line. And, it's really December through February in the coaching world is
crazy.
It's crazy. It's a carousel. Guys are getting jobs maybe they never thought they'd get, or people they know are moving on and taking them with them. So Coach Gould had an opportunity over Christmas break to take an opportunity again on the East Coast at a Division II school, and that was my opportunity to go to the coaches convention in Nashville and really start networking and talking to people. And I interviewed 25 people. I didn't get to talk football. I didn't get to go listen to speakers. I didn't get to do as much as I would like to do at a convention, but the one guy that I was able to talk to was a guy I ended up hiring in Coach Brummer, Ben Brummer. He's originally from kind of the Minnesota or Minneapolis area.
Yep.
So he's got family here. He spent 2 years at SAGU. He spent 2 years at Missouri S&T, which is a Division II school, and then the past 4 years at Mid-America Nazarene, and just won a conference championship. So he's a winner. He's been around a lot of good coaches, and he just got here for the start of spring ball, and now we are. Spring break was last week.
Yes,
and Coach Nally took a defensive coordinator job in Oklahoma Panhandle State, OPSU down there, and that one I was. Because we had spring ball coming up, so I was trying to figure out, what's going on, and no one had known that Coach Clary and I had talked about some things before Christmas break had started, and kind of talked about his career path and what him and his family had been talking about for a while, and I didn't have anything for him. I said, "Man, you could help out, I guess," and he was like, "Well, no, I'm not going to do that to the high school kids," and
right.
I said, "Well, man, if I get something, you're the first person I'll call." And so I was at my birthday dinner with my parents in Wisconsin and my wife, and we were in Wisconsin. And Nally calls me and tells me, and my mind goes to, okay, I'm going to have to tell the recruits, I'm going to have to tell the players, I'm going to have to, how do we fix practice? Do I have to push spring ball back? And so I'm looking at my steak like, okay, I'm not really hungry anymore. And
Yeah.
Nicole looks over at me and she goes, "Well, now you can call Tom."
Yeah.
It's all happy. And I was like, oh, and I kind of, a weight was off my shoulders. And
Yes.
and it still wasn't a for sure thing. And he had to make sure that, we were doing it the right way through Forest City School District, and we weren't going around people. We were going to be up front with people and make sure that this was good for him and Angel, and everything happened pretty quickly, but we were able to hire him full time. He'll be with us when he can during spring ball, and then he'll start full time in August.
Yeah. Well,
So a lot of stuff there just happened in a couple months.
Good get.
When I got that information, of course, Tom Clary was the head coach at Forest City, coached my son Jack and coached, my son Colin, and then so I started getting texts about 1:30 in the afternoon, and then I started texting Andy, and I was like, "Hey, well, we need to check on this." What's
Well, you sent me that text, Troy. Like, is Tom Clary coaching at Waldorf?
Yeah.
We were putting up, we were giving out equipment.
Yeah, we were handing out equipment on Monday, and then I'm just like, ooh.
I was like,
Well,
how did it's spreading like wildfire?
So my first
I am
act-
president of the school board.
I know that, but we were trying to make sure that everything was good.
And that was also a school board night, and I got it. And then so immediately more texts, and they're coming in, and they say we have to add something to the agenda tonight, and all this other stuff.
Yeah,
So.
and so I walk over to Coach Chapa, and I show him your text, like, what do I do with this? Because I don't want to. Obviously, I don't want to hide anything,
Right.
because I was pretty excited. I got to be honest.
But I'm sorry to add more workload to you.
Oh, it's not as much as you. Okay. I guess I made it sound like it really wasn't. It was just kind of an exciting moment.
Yeah,
and,
for sure.
I like Tom, and we worked closely with him with the boys for the high school this past year and Jack's senior year, and had lots of events that we helped coordinate for the team and that type of thing. And he did a real good job there, and did a good job. I felt, building a good environment for the kids in the program, and so. But it's good for him to be able to pursue something that he's really been passionate about for quite some time, and
For sure.
Yeah, and I think part of this, him and I were just talking about it one day. It wasn't like hey, I'll hire you ASAP. I just, he expressed how to get into college football or what that even looks like, and kind of went through my journey to do it, and he, said, well, I'm probably going to do another year at the high school, and then and I had a feeling I might have a job open on the defensive side of the ball next November. Usually guys they're here for 2-3 years, and I appreciate that. It's the one and dones that are kind of, get a little old. You want to keep guys here. You want to keep the chemistry with the team and all that kind of stuff. And it just kind of happened, and I called him, and he made sure that it was good with him and his family. And then I said, well, we have to make sure that we do this the right way, because I was talking to Coach Gassman, and I said, that's my number one guy. That's the guy I want. How do we get him? So he's done awesome, and I think for me, he's going to help. He's been a head coach. He's been a defensive coordinator. So some of the culture stuff that that I'm trying to implement, he's probably done the same, and or if not more. And so I think I'll be able to lean on him for some ideas too.
Well, there's probably an advantage, I would imagine, on the recruiting side. That'll be part of his job, like just every other coach in football.
Huge.
And so for a guy that's been playing football or coaching football, I should say, in the district in this part of the state, that's an advantage too, because we're like, you want to get the best players you can from everywhere, but certainly the closer to home, that's always good for the crowd.
Yeah, and he knows more about Iowa football than anybody on my staff, and so he's going to
probably knows all the coaches too.
Yes.
That's very helpful.
And that's again, we're trying to do this thing where the foundation is Iowa, Minnesota, and then he's been working with high school age kids for a while, so he can relate to them. He knows what they're looking for. He knows what parents are looking for. So.
Yeah, his first practice was Tuesday, and of course, early in the season, I try to be there a little more often because people have little tweaks to their equipment and stuff like that. They need air, they need adjustments and stuff. And I saw Coach Clary there, and he didn't wade into anything. He jumps right in, and it's like the first thing that I even thought of was like, man, that dude's a round peg. Square peg. It fits. Absolutely fit right in, and it's like it looks like he's been here for 5 years.
And I told him, and he didn't have to. I said, hey man, you can come to the first practice. We're just helmets, we'll do a little one-on-one stuff, we'll do some skellies, some 7-on-7, like you can just kind of see how we're operating, how we communicate. And he stood next to me for 7 minutes probably and looked at me and said, Coach, can I jump into Indy? And I said, dude, yeah, if you're comfortable, go ahead, man.
Yeah.
And I got, I have 2 team captains on defense that are linebackers, and they both came up to me after, and they're like, Coach, he's going to be good.
Yeah.
He kind of just fits right in.
Really does.
We can tell he's going to care about us. And so that was the big thing. Just, I wanted those guys to get to know him, but that was awesome to see him dive right in.
For sure.
You mentioned recruiting. You have when Gould left, he was your recruiting coordinator. You got a new one, and
So Danny Donadio.
Yeah.
And if you've ever talked to old Coach Donadio, he's got stories for days. He can connect with everybody. He doesn't just fit in one group. He can be around everybody, and he's done a phenomenal job. He's great with parents. He really gets to know kids. He wants to know what they like outside of football. He wants to know what their hobbies are. He's on the phone all the time. He works with our admissions office. Like, I can't ask for a better guy to be the face of the recruits. Every single recruit that comes through Waldorf University has to go through Danny Donadio, and that to me it's awesome. And he's very organized, and we've got 40 guys signed right now, and we'll probably end up 60, 65, something like that. But
that's wonderful.
Well, that's been a challenge too, hasn't it? Yeah. Because the FAFSA deadlines, there just have been different things for 2024 that have affected the recruiting, and in addition to just some of the changes that you've made in the staff and all of that. So talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, and I think where it all started was we were so behind because when Coach G left, he had all of our recruiting information. It was Christmas break. I was in California. Coach Donadio was in California. We were all with our families, and we had some people in admissions saying, "Hey, this makes us kind of nervous. What do you think? Are we going to be okay?" And I said, "Yeah, we're going to figure it out. We have to figure it out." So we all got back a little bit earlier than maybe we wanted to, but once we got the pieces in place and we made the changes, we got right back on track, and it was almost a pretty quick process to get caught up to where we should have been. But that's kind of where that first initial, okay, we got to really dive into this. We got to get kids on campus. We got to get kids signed up for visits, virtual visits, whatever we got to do, put in the hours. So then, we can look back and be like, okay, we're good. Now let's just focus on, let's start filling these pieces in.
Yeah, Andy kind of intimated at the beginning, just last year, the quick turnaround, becoming the head coach, getting the positions filled and figuring out all of those plans and everything, kind of chasing traffic a little bit.
Yep.
And of course, the goal is, as you, really grow into the position of the head coach, you have got to, do a good job of delegating. And I think we talked about that a little bit last year during the coaches shows too, where you were usually the guy that was doing all of that and, getting the delegation part done, but also, no longer chasing traffic. Like, are you ahead of the game now? Are you still a little bit behind? Are you where you want to be, or can you see where you're going to be? Where are you at in that?
If we can, we had a staff meeting today, and I said, if we can sign 8 guys in this month, in the month of March, we will be right on track to where we want to be. Then we can start worrying about 2025s, juniors, start worrying about what are we going to do for team camps, prospect camps. But we have to hit that 8. And once we do that, I think we're going to be good. But it's also like we talk about the delegating thing is like I can give tasks, big, small, whatever, 2 guys and no one's rolling their eyes at me. No one's looking at me. Like, I just threw it on Jordan Cooper today. I said, hey, man, you got laundry today. We didn't do laundry. We weren't prepared yet. We met. Okay, what are we missing for practice? Okay, let's get it all. And he looked at me and he said, yes, sir, I got you. Or I can tell Coach Ani, hey, man, you got to help with equipment. Make sure we get everything checked in. He's like, yep, I got it. So there's no more guys thinking they're bigger than a job. I feel like I've got a staff where everybody's kind of bought into each other, the players, the program, community, everything.
And that's how you get that refinement, the polish that you're, ultimately every program is seeking to get comfortable in the role, get everybody on the same bus, so to speak, and then work on those polish details that the gridiron works to help you out with, making sure that the recruiting experience for, kids coming in off the season and during the season is good, and then of course making sure that the players above all are taken care of.
And the biggest thing that I love is that when I leave the DJAC, when I leave the building, the work doesn't stop. Like no one is looking at each other like, oh, the boss is gone. We can play music and watch TV. Like I leave to go do whatever I'm doing in admissions or financial aid or registrar, and I come back and everybody's working just as hard as when I left. So that's a comfort for me. Okay, I don't always have to be the one to say, all right, get your butts in gear. Let's go. Like they take it upon themselves.
Yeah. And then a little bit about Coach Brummer. Ben comes in. God, what was his first day? Like 2 weeks ago.
Last Saturday.
Yeah. So not all that long ago. Coach Brummer. His first practice was the second practice. On Thursday.
Yep.
And so, but he was also impressive.
Yes.
To say the very, very least.
His first experience in a Waldorf staff setting. So I turned 30 last Wednesday on March 6th, and my parents and friends and my wife, they threw me a surprise birthday party in Clear Lake.
Yeah, I'm aware.
And yeah, it was awesome.
You knew about it.
Well, I did because Reed knew about it.
Look, man,
and
he's mad at me.
Reed and I were going to be there.
I'm not mad,
except for the fact that we were stuck in Atlanta.
Oh yeah, but so my brother, he was there, and I hadn't seen him in 7 years.
Oh wow,
my own brother,
so great.
A real surprise.
And so I thought I was helping Lulu pick up a couch. I was frustrated. I was like, why wouldn't you just take my car? You got a little Subaru. Why do you think a couch is going to fit in there? This is ridiculous. So I'm like lecturing her outside of this garage, and then she was like, the guy inside's a little creepy, so you need to go in and get it. And I said, don't call him creepy. There's a Ring camera right there. He's going to hear us. I watched too much like murder mystery shows for this. And then he opens up. He's like, can I help you? I didn't even recognize him. Looking him straight in the face, I'm like, yeah, I think I'm here to get a couch, man.
Oh wow,
brother.
And he's like, all right, come on in. And there's all these people there. And I didn't see faces. I was looking at like torsos. I was like, where am I? Why are all these people
Is this
in
a
here?
rave I've heard so much about?
Intervention.
And then I hear surprise, right? Yeah, like what am I doing wrong? And then I hear surprise. And the first person I saw Coach Finley in the corner holding Turner, baby Turner.
Yeah.
Scanning. I see my college roommate and his wife and my wife, my mom. And And then I look, and it's my brother. I don't recognize him. I had to double take. I was like, what the heck where? Am I alive right now? What is going on?
Yeah.
And so
That's
Coach
so
Brummer
good.
was able to be there around my family and friends and stuff. And so he was like, dude, this is where I want to be. This is pretty cool.
It is real cool. And just a little side note is on, I believe, Tuesday, Coach Brummer and his wife, and I have not met her yet,
Michaela, yeah.
Michaela, Ben and Michaela Brummer welcomed their first child into this world.
Well, how about
Yes.
that?
Yes, little boy, Otto.
Oh,
doing good. He's home now.
He's home now, yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
And so we get to have Tuesday and Thursday practice at 5 a.m. so he can be home in the afternoons to help if needed, and also because Coach Clary can come to practice because he's got middle school track afterwards. So yeah, we made some adjustments to practice, and the players are, we were doing boot camp. They were up every single day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Every single weekday they were up at 5 a.m. So they should
it'll be fine.
I'm glad we did that, because now they're not going to be like, oh, we got to wake up. They're going to be, we did this for like 3 weeks. We're fine.
Of course, we're recording this in the first week of spring ball. It's going to air on the 22nd. Which will be a week and a half into spring ball. It goes all the way into April. And so far, just a few days in, how's it looking?
It's good. We've had 2 helmet only practices. I say the first practice, the defense was good. We had a couple interceptions and guys were doing their thing. And then today, we had big Nolan Frowine making plays. I mean, he looks very excited. We have another tight end who was here previously. His name's Seth Chavez from New Mexico. Had an ankle injury as a freshman. Took some time off his back now. He's going to be phenomenal.
Dude put on some weight.
Caden Obley.
Oh, yeah.
Caden Obley's going to be very good from Lake Mills. And we've got a couple quarterbacks battling it out. So we've got some pieces. We've got some pieces.
Nice.
Yeah, for sure. It's exciting to watch. It just feels right, and of course we're going into the GPAC this next season, and it's just things seem to be falling into place. For old Waldorf.
Yeah, and I think a part of that is we're able to. I've been focusing on culture a lot, because we've always had really good players, and the culture hasn't been horrible, hasn't been bad, but there's always been some of the very good players kind of doing their own thing a little bit. Not all the time, but sometimes, and some of that'll lead to locker room disruptions and disagreements. And if the locker room is disrupted, then on game day when things aren't going great, people are going to start pointing fingers at each other. What's going on? And so we're doing some culture building activities, which have not always been the most fun things for them, but just teaching them how to react to hard situations together and be positive with each other. And I think it's been good.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's really talks about, those folks that are in leadership, how they respond to adversity, because it's going to happen.
It will happen.
I mean, we are not going to walk into every game and just score touchdown after touchdown after touchdown and pick six and all this. That's just not going to happen. We're going to get scored on. We're going to have tough moments. It's how those kids respond, and teaching things like culture, making sure that, we're holding people accountable and different things like that is going to be huge for these young men as we move forward into this new frontier into the Great Plains Athletic.
Yeah, and the guys are fully aware of who we have to play. And
sure, thank goodness.
But they are confident in themselves, and I think we've got 10 team captains, and we have leadership meetings every week, and I can tell these guys that you need to be mentally tough. You have to be leaders, but you can't be mentally tough if no one ever taught you how.
Right.
You can't be a leader if no one ever taught you, hey, you're not supposed to cuss at your teammates. That's not leading them. They're not trying to mess up. So
that's right.
Really focusing on some of that stuff this offseason.
You bet. I heard many times at practice, we don't do that here.
Yeah.
I like that.
When things start getting feisty and there's cuss words flying and there's some high emotions, we're going to shut it down, because at the end of the day, we're teammates.
Yep.
Right? If he dropped a ball over there, he didn't mean to. If he busted a coverage, he didn't mean to. Right? So let's figure it out together.
One of the players I was impressed with today was Bryce Jones. Just his attitude, because Bryce plays hard.
Yep.
you know, and but he was also, you know, he was doing a little talking, but then he was like, so he was giving the guys on the defense a little bit of a bad time, but he's like, but no, that was real good coverage.
Yeah, no, he'll let you know how he feels, but then he'll also acknowledge that, okay, that was probably a good play. I'm glad you're on my team.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. That's good. You have shared a schedule with us. Is this posted yet?
I don't think it's public, is it?
It can be. So
Okay.
like we have a graphic ready to go, but yeah, this is
All right. Well, this comes out on Friday the 22nd.
St. Francis will be at 6 p.m.
There we go. Well, all right.
Goodness.
Sorry.
That's a funny story.
Yeah.
We can get to that. Our first game, August 31st at Concordia University. That's Concordia in Nebraska.
That is correct.
It's a night game at 7 p.m. for them.
Ooh.
I don't know anything about them.
I'd love it. I graduated from Doane, so I know about.
That's
all
just down the road.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
sure is.
Up the road, I guess.
Well, and how many? We never did determine how many Concordias there are in the United States.
Far too many, I feel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
The Concordia, do you know what I don't even know what their mascot is.
Bulldogs.
The Bulldogs.
Yep.
Okay.
And Coach Dabercow is the head coach there. He's a good dude, but I think everybody's kind of licking their chops for us to come into the GPAC.
Good.
And we're going to be
They
the
think they're gonna-
underdogs. And
They think they're going to beat on us.
yeah,
Good.
Yeah.
Well, and then speaking of that, though, then the following week, then we roll into post Labor Day. We do meet up again with St. Francis University, who we played last year.
Yeah.
Traveled out to Chicago area, didn't go the way we wanted it to. Pretty much went the way they wanted it to. That was originally scheduled mistakenly as a 1 p.m. game. That's our first home game, Andy. And so as we talked about in one of our gridiron meetings, we're like, well, okay, I guess we'll have to adjust and scuttle the fireworks that we normally do, but figure out how community night's going to go. And then, Coach gave me a call a week later and was like, hey, I guess we can't change this. They're really being hard on this 1 p.m. time. And I was like, all right, well, we'll do it. Like we said in the meeting, we'll adjust and figure it out. We'll work with the chamber and different things like that. But then he called back, I think like maybe an hour later, and he's like, hey, we reread the contract here that we signed, and it says 6 p.m. as the time of the game.
And Coach Gassman did that on purpose. Obviously, did the contract on purpose because he is not willing to sacrifice community night.
No.
That's a good tradition for everybody, and
Absolutely.
that kind of bridges the gap and builds some bonds there. But he said you better call Troy back and tell him we're not budging. Whatever happens, we're playing at 6. Whether it's them or somebody else, we're playing at 6.
Well,
Nice.
they moved it to 6.
They moved it.
I don't think they wanted
I don't
to.
think they're very happy about it.
Yeah.
But
Because, Andy, they have a 6-hour drive. And they're just crying to the wrong team.
Yeah, exactly. 6 hours is all.
I told him, I
6
was like,
hours.
That's like
we
a
used to
home game.
That's a short drive for us. Yeah.
go to Dickinson
Yeah,
State.
come on,
That's
man.
10 and a half hours.
Yeah.
Oh,
I didn't want to, but
well,
had
that's the
get
North.
home at 5 in the morning. after
Yeah.
the game. So
Is the North Star still a conference?
for one more year, yes.
Really?
And then James, because we swapped with Jamestown,
Yep.
and then Jamestown after this.
They're going to the Northern Sun.
Yep,
Yeah.
yes, I see.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They're going
And so
to two.
then you really got what, 3
Good
schools
luck with
left?
that.
Dakota State.
4: Dakota State, Mayville, Valley, Dickinson.
Oh, that's right.
And then, some will go to the Frontier. People have some figuring out to do. Not
Right.
sure. Not
Oh,
sure
well.
what's going to happen.
I'm glad we made the move when we did. We got ahead of that train, and
Oh man,
now we're in.
It's good in recruiting. It's good
Yeah.
for families too.
Yeah.
I think so.
for sure.
Works out.
Well, and for traveling for us, I think one of our furthest away games would be because
Our furthest away game is Hastings.
Yeah, Hastings out there in the
7
middle of
hours,
Nebraska.
7 hours. Yeah.
yeah, but that's 7 hours is like
Yeah.
phew.
We can, and
Easy.
most of these games we're playing at 1.
Mhm.
We would play Dakota State twice, and we had to play them at 4 p.m.
yeah.
every single time. Even if it was a home game for us, we always played them at 4. So
Mm,
don't know why.
Hmm.
Don't ask questions. I go out and play.
Yeah.
that's right.
You do have Doane after St. Francis on the 14th of September.
Yeah, that's a big one for my wife and I. That's where we graduated from.
Right.
And, she's
We know some people down there.
she's eager.
So I'm going to Doane down in Crete, Nebraska, and the Luttrell family's there. It'll be.
Yep.
I'm sure that
I'm sure I'll get a lot of chirps from the stands.
No.
That'll be fun.
Yeah,
it will be.
because we're going to go down there and play. I
Yeah.
thought they were at us. For some
No.
reason.
No.
So we're very excited to go back down to Creed and see everybody. And
Right now it's listed as a 5 p.m. game. Is that
that is correct.
correct?
Yeah, they've got
Nice.
some soccer stuff.
Okay.
Before, so
Then the following week, Mount Marty University. I don't know anything about Mount Marty.
They're a Nebraska school, aren't they?
no, South Dakota.
South
I
Dakota.
think.
Mm.
Pretty sure South Dakota.
So that's an away game again at 1 p.m. Good traveling at the first four. The first 4 games. The only one we have is that September 7th with St. Francis at home for our community night, and that could be a tough one. And then September 28th, Hastings College comes and visits us.
That's a big one for me. One of my best friends is the defensive backs coach there, so I'm sure we won't talk that week. And then their head coach, Coach Franzen, helped me get into coaching. He was the head coach when I was at Doane, when I was playing, when I was graduating. So it'll be good to kind of.
And that's the
Face
farthest one that you mentioned
Yeah.
that we would have to travel to, but fortunately this year they're coming to us.
Correct. Oh, yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
because
we've got that.
that's in Kansas, isn't it?
No, that's
Hastings?
Nebraska, right in
Nebraska?
the middle.
Yeah, it's southern Nebraska.
Who's in Kansas?
Nobody.
Yeah, but like
I thought we had somebody in Kansas.
No, we don't have any.
Wow. I hope nobody from the GPAC's listening to this. Like, they have no.
Yeah, they have.
Well,
no
we'll
idea.
figure it out. Give us time. We're
We're not
into
even.
this. No.
We're
It's not like
technically
we were
not even
following
in the
GPAC
conference.
ball a year ago.
I
you
was.
know?
My
Were you?
bio.
Oh, I have been.
No, my bio says a graduate of Doane. Where they would look at me like, why are you
Yeah.
letting these guys talk about Kansas? No,
Well.
it's Iowa, Nebraska, and South Dakota.
All right.
So Midland after that, October 5th.
Yep.
Where are they? I don't even know.
They are in Fremont.
This is the only episode where we're giving like,
Who are these
who are
guys?
these guys?
Yeah.
I've heard of those
They're in
guys.
Fremont,
we're gonna kill
outside
them,
of
though.
Omaha.
Okay. And then you get a bye week, October 12th.
Yeah,
And that's good.
Right in the middle of the dang season.
much
Which is,
needed. So that was where we were supposed to play Concordia. They have some things going on, so their AD reached out to us and said, "Could we play week 0?"
sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
In a mid-season bye?
I would take that. Yes, that's
Oh, man. Yeah.
beautiful.
Because
5 games, break, 5 games.
Yeah.
and you followed it up right away on the 19th after that bye week. You get 2-week break there to go and host Northwestern.
Yeah,
And I guess they're kind of a pushover, you know.
They're not that
school.
good.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah, they had a down season last year. They national runner-up.
Yeah.
It'll be that's going to be a test, obviously, and it's going to be good that they're coming here, so all of our people in the 4-city community and at Waldorf University can see, what does a top team look like?
Mm-hmm.
What does a national championship contending team
Yes.
look like? That's what we got to get to.
Yeah.
How do we get to that? So
Yep.
we're excited. We're obviously going to come out throwing haymakers and
Yeah.
it's going to be competitive as heck. So
You bet.
it'll be fun.
Yeah, then Briarcliff on the 26th of October. We go out there again. You ought to get Gassman. Well, you'd probably have to go. You go out and come back, huh?
That'll be there and back. Yeah.
Yep.
That's too bad. Otherwise, it would be appropriate for you to stay at the Warrior Hotel
Oh,
right there in Sioux City.
yeah.
You bet.
So we know them. We've played them in years past and had some
Yeah.
success with them. So, but they're building their program as well. I think they got a new stadium or
trying.
something like that. Mhm.
Yeah.
And then Dakota Wesleyan, November 2nd. And that's here at home. All these home games, with the exception of community night, are 1 p.m. this year, which is nice. And I guess they're a Methodist university in South Dakota.
South Dakota, yeah. And so the defensive coordinator that's there now was the defensive coordinator that coached me at Doane.
Okay.
So I've got some connections, and they just got a new head coach. So they've got some things going in the right direction. We gotta take them
All
serious.
right. Last 2 games, you got Morningside. They're also one of those top-notch programs in years past. That's
Juggernaut.
November 9th
Yep.
at home. Sorry, my computer went to
Just
a
likes to do
screensaver. Yeah, hold on.
Again, another team
yeah.
that we can look at and say, okay, another top team in the NAI. That's what we need to look like.
Well, and, just between Northwestern and Morningside, what, out of the last 4 or 5 years, one of those 2 schools have played the national championship? Because Northwestern won it last year. Well, they were runner-up this last year. They won it the year before. Morningside won it the year before that. And I think Morningside, if they hadn't won it the year before, I think they were also in the a championship. So quality programs, it's going to be fun to have them, come to town and see what we can do with them.
Yeah, and then Dort, too, same thing. These are all Western Iowa schools. You get that Northwestern, Briarcliff, Morningside, Dort. Dort's no schlep either. They're good.
Program. Yeah, and they're the only team that we're going to see that runs a triple option. And so they are very well coached. They've got really good kids. We obviously recruit against all of these schools all the time. But, being able to show ourselves, show, the community, show these teams that, we're not just making the jump to the GPAC because we don't have a conference. It's because we're good enough and we've got enough support inside of the university, outside in the community, and I think this is going to be good for us.
Yeah, I think Dort's that's an away game, the final game of the season there, the regular season. That's I think the Sioux Center, is that?
I believe so, yeah.
Right, it's out there, all Western Iowa. So within, most of these places are within 3.5 hours for our fans that are at least starting out in Forest City, and then some of them are a little bit further away than that. When you get down there into Nebraska.
Like Odegaard's, they got a head start, don't they? They're over in Western Iowa.
Armstrong,
It's a strong season. It's a full, was it? I thought it was an 11-game season for some reason.
No.
It is 10.
No, we wanted a bye week.
Yeah.
And how great is it that in the GPAC, we play 10 different teams all year? Rather than, we're going to see everybody twice.
Yeah.
Well, that was tough last year. The year prior to that, we played somebody twice. And then, then then last year we played everybody twice. And in some ways that was kind of fun because, but it's.
And every single one of these games is going to be a dogfight. This is a very prestigious conference. The commissioner obviously did his due diligence at Waldorf and met with student athletes and met with coaches, and they take it serious. This isn't something that this is going to be all fun and games. We gotta go out and show why we were able to.
Well, I think what sealed it is Troy and I and Courtney had lunch with him.
Yeah, that was what it was.
Up at the Bowman.
Yeah.
We
went up there and
you bet.
Really warmed him up too.
He was kind of on the fence, and then we just we pushed him over.
We thank you for your service.
Oh, absolutely. It's what we do here.
I listen to this. Listen to this podcast.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to believe it.
It's the greatest podcast I've ever heard.
It is. I'm very happy with this season. I know it's going to have its, I'm not going to say ups and downs. It's going to be a challenge. There's going to be some, like you said, some dog fights. Well, they're all going to be dog fights. That's great. That makes for great football. And, if the boys are on board and the staff is fired up and they got everything locked in, you're going to fight the fight, and we're going to have a great season. We'll see where we come out, in several months from now. But it's just, I think it's a great start to a new conference, and your second year as a head coach, and figuring all this stuff out. You get yourself out in front of all of those places too, where it's a different recruiting pool, and from the same area that we're all trying, to get our players from. So it's all good.
And I think again for the community, for the parents, just being able to watch their children play and like you said, tap into a whole new recruiting pool, because now, hey, we're playing in Iowa and Nebraska. We're not going up to North Dakota, South Dakota. Everything's right here.
Montana.
Yeah. Well, I think the Gridiron Club, we're going to have to do a good job this year of getting our fans on the road as much as we can. We've had, obviously, families have been traveling with their kids, and watching the games for as long as there's been football. But we want to take the Gridiron Club as much on the road as we can. It's a lot easier to do that when you're just a few hours away.
Yes.
Yeah, I've been going to at least one away game every year with a team. I usually drive myself because it's much more comfortable. Let's be honest.
We travel in style.
Oh, absolutely. And so did I.
Yeah, true. You got serious.
Can't argue with that.
Listen to your. I'm going to go back listen to the podcast greats.
Yeah, and then, but no, I think last year I went to. I'm trying to think. I know I went out to Dakota State.
Yeah,
that was fun. I think I went to another one. I don't remember. It doesn't matter. I've been to Briarcliff before, and I try to travel once a year. So I'm just looking at this like, where am I going this year? And I don't know. I might have to do the Doan thing. might have to do Doan.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that'd be fun.
Yeah,
to go down.
it's a good atmosphere.
Well, and
over
just to see Renee and Josh again one more time, and who knows, maybe we can get the chain gang to go down.
that would be awesome. The more, the merrier.
Absolutely.
Well, that's the message of the year too. Is just getting focused on that gridiron, that club tailgating. We met as a gridiron executive committee and kind of refocus some things and say, we're going to really up the ante and our tailgate activities, the fun that happens certainly obviously at our home games, but then expanding that and trying to take it on the road because we're new to the GPAC as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Looking forward to all that stuff. Some of the things that we did, and I loved walking out there on our first practice on that Tuesday, and Coach ordered some new home jerseys, so we could take old game jerseys and put them on the kids for practice now. So the offense is in the old travel whites, the defense is in the old home blacks, and we the Gridiron Club sprung for Guardian caps this year. Lots of different benefits to that, and we've got 65 white, 65 black, and
We look like a dang football program.
oh,
There you go.
It looks so good.
And I told Andy today, Nolan Frowine, he's 6'4", 250 pounds. He went up for a ball, caught it, but then when he hit, you can tell the Guardian caps were great because it protects you from hitting your head on the turf now, not just for head-to-head combat. It's when you're coming down and your head's hitting against the turf. You could tell that that's a huge benefit, especially in practice.
Yeah, and it actually there's a Velcro strap in the back, and after he hit that, it came undone, so it pushed his Guardian cap forward, and it looked like I went over to him and I said, "Can I fix your cap?" Well, everybody said it. I said, you look like you're trying to be George Kittle. No, I'll tell you what, he's tall, he's big, he's super athletic, he can catch the ball, he can run. I'm saying maybe he might be a little George Kittle.
The Iowa Falls version.
Oh, absolutely. He's like the cadet version.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's been fun.
So we got some new faces in your locker room too, Coach. You brought in some mid-year transfers again this year.
Yeah.
That's always exciting. About how many guys did you bring in?
We brought in 7 guys, junior college or 4-year transfer guys. On defense, we brought in Keontae Carter from junior college in California. They had him playing, defensive line, but they had him playing everything. And for us, he's more of that field outside linebacker. He's fast. He's super smart, very, very strong, can squat a house. I mean,
he's huge.
He was lifting with Nico Page, who was a defensive lineman, and 260 pounds. So we brought in a quarterback at Cade Walking Stick. I recruited him a couple years back when he was at Akron Westfield out there by Sioux City, kind of. His dad was the head football coach there. He ended up going to Ellsworth, then transferred again to Avila University in Kansas City, NAI program there. His dad is the head coach at Iowa Falls High School now, but reached out to me about, the opportunity to come play again and for us, and he's here now, and he is, I've got 2. I've got him and Nick kind of battling it out, and we've got our freshman and Carson Lindsay, who I told him the other day in the locker room, I said, "Hey, man, it's because you're a freshman. You better give these boys a run for their money." And, he's fired up. And,
Carson's going to be special.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I do look forward to saying the name Walking Stick.
Yeah. No, and look, when all these guys first got here, we got Aiden Lemoyne. He's another receiver from California JUCO. All these guys got here, and they were just like stone-faced, stonewall. Like you got to be the tough guy. Now they're just. I mean, we were playing dodgeball for our last boot camp, and Cade Walking Stick had like a Spider-Man mask on. So like they're coming out of their shells, and our guys do a really good job of making the new guys feel welcome, because they know that anybody we bring in, we do that for a reason.
Yep.
We need to make the team better. They're competing for jobs, but they're also going through this together.
Well, yeah, and there's not a feeling of there's these new guys. It's just they're part of the team.
Yeah, Nick and Cade. I mean, I saw them the other day riding in Cade's little red Mustang over to the field to get some field work in together.
Yeah.
Two quarterbacks that are battling for a starting job.
You bet.
That is very rare, but that just speaks to who they are as people.
You bet.
I think so.
Yeah, both great people. I don't know. I haven't got to know Cade very well yet. Super nice kid.
Yep.
Looking forward to just seeing that battle take shape. And I mean, that's, again, it goes back to what Troy says, iron sharpens iron.
Yep.
And that's one of those guys are going to make each other better. And
we had a receiver here the other day from Van Meter, and your best recruiting tool, if you treat your players right and they know that you love them and care about them, your best recruiting tool is your players.
Mm-hmm.
So the biggest thing is like, hey, we got a receiver in there in the weight room with his family. You better go say hi to him. And, that's one thing that his mom said. She said, man, a lot of your guys came up and said hi and held conversations and, let us know that this is a good place to be. So I think we're doing it right. It's not going to be perfect right off the bat. It'll take a little bit of time, but I think we're on the right track.
Agree, 100%.
Very good.
Yeah, looking forward to this year, and just this spring ball really kicks it off. It gets me excited again. I got to be honest, and I'm sure I don't know where you guys as full-time coaches, because there's not a break. You go from end of season to those exit interviews for your seniors and all the kids, and then it's recruit spring ball, and then it's like we got summer where you'll get a little bit of a break, and then but it's nothing but planning for the fall.
Yep.
For me, when the season's over, it's like, okay, just come in, try to get things organized. I'm so tired of just the grind, because I got the full-time gig that I do a lot, and then I got the Waldorf gig that I love. But I'll tell you what, it's like as soon as I marked on my calendar that we're handing out equipment on Monday, it just, goosebumps. Just absolutely love every part of it. And it's not about hanging around football and talking football. It's hanging around those kids.
Yeah.
Hanging around the guys. That's what makes it great. Just the different personalities and being able to make those connections.
They worked their tails off. When we got back on January 10th, we did 4 weeks of 4 weeks of 4 days a week of lifting, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. And they're just trying to get stronger, bigger. And then we were, then we did 3 weeks of, hey, we're up doing boot camp on the field at 5 a.m, and then you're lifting in the afternoon still. So you're pulling a 2-a-day, and you got to balance your schoolwork and everything else. And, then we had spring break, and now it's spring ball. So those are kind of the 3 phases that we break the off season up into. And when we were putting Guardian caps on and they were getting helmets, so you could just tell they were fired up.
Oh boy. Yeah. So it's an exciting time of the year. It's given us a little bit of a picture of what's to come. So Waldorf fans, April 13th is the spring game. Is that correct?
Yeah,
so
we will get it out on Twitter.
Yeah, and make sure you get out there and take a look. Come in. Is that like what? Is that a Saturday or Friday?
It's a Saturday.
It's a Saturday. So what time is the spring game?
The spring game will be at 1 p.m.
There's no reason not to show up at 9 o'clock with your grill.
Yeah,
Sure.
There's no reason not to show up at 9 a.m. with your grill, do some tailgating, bring everybody in, get to know the folks as a Waldorf family, because that's really what we are. And then watch the guys go out there and compete.
And I'd like to note, April 20th, the weekend after that, we are going to be doing our spring cleanup that we do.
Okay.
There's no snow on the ground. There's nothing. We're going to get the guys out, because then that next week is finals and they're gone. So we want to be able to see the community and help the community. And so we'll be doing that. We'll start at 8 a.m. on the 20th.
Spring ball on the 13th.
Yep, Saturday.
And that's a 1 p.m. game. And then your spring cleanup, where you send the guys out, is the 20th.
Yep.
Very
bet.
good. So 420.
Yeah.
We'll have to get some information out about how, if you're interested in getting some yard work done from some very healthy young men, and for just whatever type of donation you feel is worthy, dig deep, folks.
Yeah.
Because that helps the program.
Yeah. Now, I would be remiss if I didn't say that I was just a little bit more excited about the season and the next few seasons this year.
Yeah.
Than I.
I'm excited too.
Why would that be?
Tell the folks
Any reason?
This is good news.
One of this show's biggest fans is actually also a new recruit to Waldorf.
You bet.
And so my son Jack is,
whose real name is Jackson. I just learned that.
Yeah, we never call him Jack.
Well, I'm telling
even
everybody,
when he's in trouble.
I'm telling everybody in admissions that, hey, I need Jack Thompson this, I need that, and they're like, who's that?
Can't find him.
I have a Jackson, and I'm like, okay, come on, guys.
Yeah, he goes by JT. So we're just super excited. It was fun going through the recruiting process, and we did visits in a variety of places, and just nothing felt quite
like home. Was he the
home.
first commit?
He was the first commit.
Yes, I thought so.
And I'm excited because he's going to play corner, and so he's going to work one-on-one with me. And that is, for me, for somebody from Forest City, that is very exciting.
Jack is that kid like, Christian Giroux reminds me a little bit of Jack.
Yeah. I think Jack's faster, but yeah.
Well, right. And then, but even somebody like, if we put some size on somebody like Jack, then you're thinking of a case and handle type dude.
Yeah.
If he gets bigger, he'll play safety, but we'll start him at corner. I think he'll be phenomenal. And I told you guys that I live here in town all year round. I don't punch the clock and go home for the summer. I'm here. And so being able to do some playbook things and some field work, and he's got a beautiful home gym downstairs.
Yeah.
And, down in the bunker. And so
he said he can't stay focused here. He comes up with other things to do.
Well, there's 1,000 things to do.
Well, I'm sure like raking the yard and lawn work. And
When he says that, he probably means that it's like, well, you come in and you always have something else for me to do.
Yes.
That's probably
No, it's exciting time.
It is exciting. It's great to have Forest City kids on the roster. It really is. And just local kids in general. This kid's from Iowa, but yeah, Jack's going to be a special one.
And you're going to get to announce his name. For that first tackle that he gets to announce his name. That's going to be.
It'll be
special. No, I mean I had the opportunity to do that.
Oh, I know, but now we're in college.
But now we're in college, and PA in college is just a lot more fun because you definitely are a homer, and you can
make fun of Dickinson State.
I can, as we well know.
I still tell that story.
you still have an arrest warrant up in North Dakota.
You've got one invisible strike.
That's.
Yeah, they were not happy with us.
Well, everybody has their Bob Uecker moments. Yeah. I wouldn't say that.
Just a bit outside ball one.
Well, they shouldn't have had a 4-hour rain delay.
That's
what
true.
Can you do?
Amen. Well, that was one of the fun moments I got.
And we had families bring us Subway for the players too.
Yeah.
So I do. I mean, that is something that a lot of schools do not have. So.
Well, that's something that I know that my wife Heidi and our whole extended family is looking forward to.
Are you guys going to take over feeding the kids? I mean,
I know that we're going to have. Look, my wife Heidi is she's just
an amazing human,
amazing at putting all of that stuff together. She's really at heart, I think, an event planner and an organizer, and she's already looking at tents and things like that. And actually, she started looking at tents, I think, back in December. So it's been a fun. It's going to be fun for the family, regardless of how everything turns out. As a freshman, it's kind of hard to tell, if you play or how much you play or whatever happens. And the goal is to win and do that. And Jack's excited to be there, and he's glad you're there. I will say, just he might get embarrassed, but I'm going to do it anyway, because when the text came through on Monday afternoon that Clary was going to Waldorf. Jack's first response was, "Is Chapa going somewhere?"
He thought he was taking my spot. That's good though, but to have more familiar faces and I feel really good about where we're at as a whole. I feel like after 5 months of scrambling, it felt like I could breathe a little bit and focus on what's important.
Well, and you'd said that before we headed into the bunker to record this, is that you're relaxed.
Yeah.
You're not stressed.
Yeah. And we've been understaffed it's just hard to hire really good people. Maybe I was a little picky. Mm-hmm. That's probably my fault.
That's okay.
But, I wanted to get guys in because I care about the community. I care about the university. And I do think we can win in the GPAC.
Absolutely.
And I want people that think we can freaking win in the GPAC, and that's what I got. So,
well, I wondered about that. If when you went out to the coaches conference, was that your idea? Was that Gassman's idea?
Oh, we go out there every year, and
Did you have instructions from him? He's like, listen, you're not doing any class. He doesn't talk like that. It would be cool.
Yeah, why is he a Boston?
It'd be kind of cool if he did. Listen, here's what you're gonna do.
Yeah. He told me not
doing
to
all interviews.
He told me not to take another job.
Yeah, and it's kind of speed dating for coaches. Is the AFCA convention,
and that's what it
is.
It
really is. Speed dating for coaches.
And I could, and he's been awesome to me, and he wants me to succeed, and he's given me as many tools as he can. And it just so happened that when Coach G left, it was convention time, so we put we have a website. The Football Scoop is where kind of everybody posts their jobs, and I posted ours, and I got 150 emails.
Wow!
And I was going through, I was looking at references. Do I know anybody in these references that I can call and say, hey, do you know anything about this guy? Just trying to make connections there. And I had 25, and I reached out to every single one when I was there, and it was hard. There was good ones, and there was ones that I was immediately like, nah, you're not going to be here very long. And then you meet somebody like Coach Brummer, and he's in it for the right reasons. And once we started talking ball, that I knew he was smart, but then also, okay, he's got family close, and they're about to have their first child.
And he's a mad scientist when it comes to technique.
Yeah. When you hand him the marker on the board, it's just like, he's a whole new person. It's like he's writing a formula. Like, okay, somebody who can teach me something.
He is the Sheldon Cooper of defensive linemen.
Yeah. Great.
Yep.
Great. I'm glad to hear that. Can't wait to meet him. We'll have him on the podcast in the next couple of episodes for sure.
You bet. We got Tom Clary out here too.
Yeah, definitely. Tom will be out here. He's been out here.
He's never been here before.
Never been in the studio.
No, and
he's been down on the floor with the kids.
And somebody we got to get in here is Tristan Eames, Coach Eames.
Coach Eames is our student coach. Yeah,
yeah, he's a student coach, and I think about every. I don't know, you must have like an alarm set every 10, 14 days. Hey, I'm available for the podcast if you guys are looking for somebody. Right? Yeah, he's a good dude. I like Tristan. He's a good guy.
Well, he better.
Only as good as my staff, and I got some good dudes around.
You definitely do. Well, that makes the folks at home listening feel pretty good. I know we got fans that will be happy that we're back on for the third season now. There's
number 3
opportunity to head out into the garage and crack a beer, smoke a cigar for some of our people that I have been told that's what they like to do.
Chedardman.
I wasn't going to name names, but I think we've talked about it before.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I was clearing my throat. Chedardman.
Yeah.
That's what
I still have a lot of cigars from that old man.
Oh, he's a good dude.
He gave me like 40, I feel like.
It's all up from here, and we're just happy to be back, and we are glad that you're listening. And here we are at the end of the first week and a half of spring ball as this airs, and just looking forward to the future and for the episode next week as well.
Absolutely. Well, I want to thank our head coach, Tyler Chapa, for taking some time to kind of shed some light on where Waldorf football is at today. And so thanks, folks, everybody that listened. We're glad to be back, and stay tuned. We got more coming your way. So for Troy Thompson, this is Andy Buffington, and forever and always, go Warriors.
Next week on the Waldorf Gridiron Club podcast. I don't know what the word for season is in Spanish. Saison.
I think that's French. Fans, we got a treat for you tonight. We want to welcome here new defensive line coach, Ben, or Benjamin, depending on if he's in trouble or not, Brummer. So tell me what has happened in your life in the last 2 weeks.
Well, so obviously got hired on here at Waldorf. Moved out here.
You just doxed yourself now. Everybody knows.
Who cares? Come by. Everyone seems so nice.
The scores of listeners. Yes.
Everybody that comes by either brings food or
there you go.
Diapers, because about a week after living here, our firstborn son, Otto Brummer, was born.
Here comes the Commissioner Roger Goodell out.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of him.
It's hard to hunt when you're a college football coach.
That's true.
Now
in the fall, you bet.
I guess I'm the point man in whatever state I'm living to find the hunting land. I think it's a really good league. I like what they're about, and I'm excited. That's one of the reasons I want to come here. I want to go play top 10, top 5 teams as much as possible, because that's how you figure out what you're made of. there's a lot of raw clay.
Mm-hmm.
There's talent out there. There's a lot of guys. I think, the one that sticks out is Nico Page. You know me for 5 minutes. I'll live anywhere if I can coach football.
Can't wait to see what you put together on the field. Season 3, Episode 2.
On your favorite podcast platform.
You can join the Waldorf Gridiron Club and be part of the best small college football experience in America.
Just visit our website and pick your membership level. Find us and everything Waldorf Gridiron Club related, including professional photos, at waldorfgridironclub.org.
You can also click on the Support the Show link in the show notes to donate.
And you can even use the United States Postal Service by sending your check to the Waldorf Gridiron Club, P.O. Box 125, Forest City, Iowa, 50436.
It's tax exempt, hassle-free, and has a level for every budget.
That's right. Anyone can join, even our rivals.
Show your colors. Join the Gridiron Club today.
Get it?
Got it. Fantastic.
The Waldorf Gridiron Club podcast is hosted by Andy Buffington and me, Troy Thompson. Produced by Sunnyside Farm Studios in beautiful rural Forest City, Iowa. Platformed by Buzzsprout and music by Soundstrike. The Waldorf Gridiron Club is a 501c3 nonprofit organization dedicated to the student athletes of the Waldorf University football program. Our mission is to assist the program in maintaining the best small college football experience in America.